Oh. Hello there. I didn't see you come in. You should really have knocked first. For if you had entered before I had had a chance to strap on my codpiece, we both would have been greatly embarrassed. Anyways, welcome to Fancy Pants Theater. It's like a roundhouse kick to the genitals. But by the genitals, I mean the mind. My name is Patrick, and I'm the founder and CEO of Fancy Pants Theater. Before we get started, I would like to take a moment to mention that this blog was created in memory of Mr. Buttonwood, the wise and benevolent squirrel that befriended me under the willow tree that I ran to and wept beneath as a child to escape the endless taunts and projectiles hurled at me by my classmates. Mr. Buttonwood and I were inseparable, and he taught me the ways of the world. Sometimes I would simply hold him under the willow tree for hours on end and massage his squirrely skull until the sun came up, or the authorities had found me. And even though my parents, teachers, and court-appointed psychologists told me that it was not normal to foster such an unnatural relationship with a squirrel, I loved Mr. Buttonwood. And Mr. Buttonwood loved me. Ultimately, after our love had overcome so much adversity and so many attempts to tear us apart, Chatty Tim, the school custodian, visited the willow tree and savagely smashed Mr. Buttonwood to death with a shovel. Then, while still wielding the blood-soaked shovel, he approached me with an abruptness that I felt seemed inappropriate under the circumstances, and told me simply that human beings and vermin were from two different worlds and could never be together. I later learned that they called him Chatty Tim because he suffered from a massive addiction to cocaine, which made him super outgoing, so much that he attempted to talk to everyone, often in an agitated tone and from an uncomfortably close distance, about the dismal circumstances in his personal life that not one of his co-workers could relate to. As a result of his cocaine addiction, he himself died later that same year. The art teacher, Miss Potterdam, found his body stretched across the top of the monkey bars on the school playground after what had presumably been a late-night rave party that he hosted on his employer's property for his unemployed friends with equally rampant substance abuse problems. When Miss Potterdam found him, he was completely naked, except for an Adidas headband and a pair of British night high tops, which were both very in style at the time. When the grief counselor came to address my class to discuss the events that had taken place, I calmly raised my hand and said that I was happy Chatty Tim was dead because he had savagely smashed Mr. Buttonwood to death with a shovel. Instantly, I was sent to the principal's office and, later, home for the day. In any event, I'm happy you have decided to visit Fancy Pants Theater. If you like what you see, you can opt to subscribe over there on the right, so that you will get something called an email whenever I offer a vivacious, yet sobering commentary or otherwise sassy addition to Fancy Pants Theater. As noted above, Fancy Pants Theater is a self-proclaimed variety blog, meaning that the subject matter and means of expression will correspond only to the aimlessly random impulses of my brain, which Harper's Bazaar magazine once praised as, quote, a non-linear tour de force, which could only be described as a confusing, but nevertheless intoxicating orgy between a kaleidoscope, a tropical storm, an episode of The Facts of Life, a bad haircut, and the circus scene in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, all rolled into a doobie and smoked by a chimpanzee riding a tricycle. Over time, common themes, characters, and features will be sure to develop. But to make any assurances or predictions would be more premature than the climax of a nerdy teenager whose impatient and emotionally distant father has become so angered and depressed over his nerdy son's pathetic inability to achieve sexually active status that he has taken him by force to a professional house of sin that he heard about from Dufresne, his co-worker on the assembly line at the plant. So at this juncture, I will simply say to please stay tuned. With that, thank you for visiting Fancy Pants Theater, and please stop by again soon. Please leave now. I have to go begin getting dressed for the stag party I have organized for tonight. Me and all my boys are going to the Turkish bathhouse to eat Oreo cookies and play slip and slide. The crumbs from the Oreo cookies stick to our manly chests that glisten from the heat of the Turkish bathhouse, and then stick to the slip and slide when we slide on it. The party starts at 9, but I plan to get there around 8:30 to discuss the specifics with Totongo, the Tahitian towel boy who will be providing the towels to us throughout the night and generally overseeing the party. You should come. It will be totally sweet. I can pick you up in my Dodge Neon. Or would you rather drive? Or, you know what? I'll just text you in a little bit and we can figure it out then.